In a forgotten corner of the city, where shadows danced longer than the daylight, lived a man named Arthur. His world was small and dim, a collection of empty pockets and a rumbling stomach. Each night was a battle, a desperate search for scraps to survive another day. On one particularly cold evening, the wind biting through his thin jacket, he was rummaging near a trash bin, hoping for a miracle. And then he heard it, not the distant wail of a siren or the rattle of the late-night train, but a sound so fragile it almost got lost in the wind, the cry of a baby. His heart pounded. He followed the sound, his eyes scanning the darkness, until he saw a small bundle tucked beside the cold, unforgiving metal. A newborn, left alone, with tiny fists clenched against the chill. Arthur looked at his own empty hands, felt the gnawing hunger in his belly, and knew he had nothing. But in that moment, looking at that innocent face, he felt he had to give everything. He carefully lifted the baby, holding him close for warmth, and carried him back to his small, bleak room. He wrapped the baby in his only old, worn-out blanket. He managed to warm up a little bit of milk he'd been saving. Feeding the child drop by precious drop, days turned into a week, and then another. The tiny room, once filled with silence and despair, now echoed with soft gurgles and the steady rhythm of a tiny heartbeat. Arthur named him Leo. He shared every last crumb, every drop of water. Leo's presence brought a light into his life that he hadn't known was missing. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was living for someone else. One evening, while a flickering television played in the corner of a neighbor's shop, a news report caught his eye. A wealthy couple, their faces etched with grief, were pleading for the return of their missing son. A photo of the baby flashed on the screen. It was Leo. A massive reward was offered, $2 million. $2 million, the number echoed in Arthur's mind. It was more than a lifeline, it was a whole new world. It could erase his debts, buy him a warm home, and fill his cupboards with food forever. He looked down at Leo, sleeping peacefully in his arms. His heart ached. Giving him up felt like tearing a part of himself away, but he knew what he had to do. The next day, with a heavy heart, he took Leo to the address shown on the news. When the door opened, the mother's gasp filled the air, followed by tears of pure joy as she rushed to embrace her child. The family, overwhelmed with gratitude, saw the kindness in Arthur's eyes and the poverty in his worn-out clothes. They didn't just give him the reward. They saw the man who had saved their world. They paid off all his debts and gave him the $2 million, insisting he deserved a new beginning. Arthur's life was transformed. He moved into a clean, bright home. He wore clothes that kept him warm, but the biggest change wasn't the money or the comfort. It was the peace in his heart. He learned that true wealth isn't what you have, but what you give. Helping others can change your life in ways you never expect. Kindness always finds its way back to you, often when you need it most. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more inspiration.